YouTube, it's Tone back with another one for you. And so this is the beginning of the redemption manual number 5. So there's a series of these books. So we're gonna run through this one. What do we got here? 4, 5. Yeah, so we're gonna run through this. This is kind of an introduction to it. I'm going to try to just stick to that because I mean this is a big ass fucking book. It's like 500-600 fucking pages. It's just crazy. I'm not trying to do it all. You know, I'm trying to get you to understand what it's about so you can maybe email me and get the fucking thing. It's a $500 book. You know what I mean? So they wouldn't charge that if there wasn't some valuable shit in here, and it really is fucking worth it. So let's get right into this shit. This one here you guys are gonna like. So right here you got Redemption Manual 5, Free from Servitude. And second page in, I'll run through the introductions. So books in the Redemption Manual 5, so Free from Servitude, Operating Secured, Managing the Trust, Understanding the UBA and Conditional Acceptance for Value. That shit's crucial. Operating Sovereign, from secure party to sovereign. Operating Invisible, how to keep yourself invisible, which is a good move, right? To not operate in commerce and shit like that, because then, and it's not necessarily being fucking invisible so nobody can see you. It's so on paper you're not really there, and they have no ties with for you into the system, because that's how they're grabbing everybody in, is through commercial actions. So I mean, there's a bunch of different ways that you can do that. So it is easy to believe that something must be true because everyone else believes it. And I mean, that's the funny thing too, is that everybody thinks that it's not true unless other people start to believe it. Then they'll kind of just go with the flow. It's fucking monkey see, monkey do, right? So just because nobody else believes it doesn't mean it's not true. And if you ever find yourself going with the masses, you're probably on the wrong path. So, but the truth only comes to light by daring to question the unquestionable, by doubting notions which are so commonly believed that they are taken for granted, right? You only know what you know, and you can't think outside of the box that your brain has been programmed to think inside of. So therefore, your ability to manifest is limited to that of which you were programmed with. So in order to break out of that, you have to fucking expand your mind, use your imagination. That's why imagination is key. Imagination, magi, nation. So that is the magic, right? So the American Bulletin author of Redemption 4.5, authorized permission by Marianne, whatever her name is here, and copyright holder. This is a copywritten book. I'm just going through it for educational purposes. Has approved the compilation of Redemption Manual 5 for a collaborative work of the American Bulletin and Sovereign Filing Solutions. Unauthorized production, reproduction, or misuse of this book violates copyrights against aforesaid violators and will be handled with prejudice. I don't know what the fuck that means. Are they gonna come see you? You know what I'm saying? But nah, but you know, it's copywritten and shit, so I fucking respect that. Educational purposes here. That's what we're doing this for, right? So next page. The information contained in this book is foundational and entry level for those who want to become a secure party creditor and is not to be construed as legal advice. Please do not take our words as the word of the Almighty. Do your own research, legal publications, books of law, house joint resolutions, etc. And we have confidence you will reach the same conclusions with this knowledge that we have. The contents have been reviewed and edited, but errors and typos may still exist. This book is not intended to answer every question you may have as to the redemption, as no one book can do that. And that's the thing too. People always ask me, oh, what book did you read to know this? Bro, are you fucking kidding me? 6 years? You want me to fucking... You want me to tell you every fucking book I read? Let's just say I never stopped reading. Do that. There is no one fucking book. It's such a multifaceted web of bullshit that you literally get dragged into fucking a million rabbit holes. So if you don't have your head on straight when you get into this, you're gonna be all set by the by the end. As no one book can do that in light of the fact that the evolution of information and processes continues. It is presented as an educational information only and is the responsibility of the reader to continue to study, research, document, and understand the process or program called a redemption before moving forward, whereupon we presume you will take the necessary responsibility to free your mind and take control. And the biggest thing is knowing that it's all in your fucking head. These people put every fucking thought that you have as a programmed fucking thought. You have to break out of that. You're going to feel like you're going fucking crazy a few times and shit. And that's because you're going to enter into realms that you don't fucking know what the fuck's going on. But you apply logic and common sense to any of this, which is still skewed to even at that. And you're going to be able to put the pieces together, man. So notice, proceeding from this point is in effect taking the blue pill. Obviously from the first Matrix movie. And you know what? I used to always look at all these movies like, because I was so matter of fact. And I realize now that my whole fucking belief structure was based on lies and shit. And, you know, a lot of the shit that you look at as fiction, science fiction and all that shit was really just put there to make you believe that that shit was fake. When in all reality, it's this fucking reality that's fake. All right? Know that. So, movie review is a few pages forward. Since you want to know the truth, to go down the rabbit holes, you will be exposed to new information, history, facts, concepts, etc. So hold on. It's going to be the ride of your life, and your very being, your life and your freedom will be tested, and you will be tested. All right? Acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge and give thanks to the many men and women who have already and those who continue to help bring change and accountability back into this once great country, who by everyday choice stand up for freedom and break the chains of tyranny. Now it's time to stand the fuck up, America. I mean, you know what time it is. So, and you know, all the information that we share and all this shit is all coming from multiple compilations of different people's work. So when I see somebody jump on one of my posts that if I'm reading a book or whatever the fuck's going on, they're like, oh, you're just reading somebody else's work. No shit, motherfucker, because nobody else is. I'm trying to bring light to the situation here. I never claimed to be the fucking author of any of the books that I fucking read here. It's so everybody can gain access to this shit. That's why I'm reading it, because nobody else will fucking read this shit. So I'm putting it in a video format, and now everybody can gain access to all this shit. Have I already read this shit? Absolutely. Do I know this? You fucking bet your ass. I'm trying to make sure that everybody else can know this shit, because it's really crucial information. It changes the way that you think, which in turn changes what you're able to manifest. And to manifest different things, you have to think different. So you gotta change your mind. You gotta make a choice to fucking change. It isn't something that somebody can do for you. So notice, redemption is not for the timid, for the weak, and the ignorant. One must read, study, and test, apply what one is becoming exposed to. And understanding the commercial scheme being operated against every man, woman, and child today in this country and most of the world, for the sole purpose of allowing the government corporations to survive and continue to serve themselves under a socialistic, bankrupt democracy closer resembling social communism. There is not one book to do every single, and not even a single series of books that is going to answer all your questions, to give you everything you need to know and understand as to redemption. Much has been researched and written about redemption. It has been both shocking, interesting, and exciting to see the processes and the successes in relation to what is dubbed the redemption. So it is not the end, but it is the beginning. And it is the beginning. It's the beginning of a whole new way to think, whole new paradigm, whole new fucking series of manifestations and shit like that. Is fucking awesome, to be 100% real with you. It is imperative that you move forward with the educational process, acquire other books and information to understand and implement the transfer from being the debtor slave on the plantation to becoming secure party and eventually perfecting your sovereignty. The sovereign connection is an amazing place for not only the material to consume, but also to meet others on the same path as you. And so it is good. So Yusuf L, check him out. He has a little university. You know, I was following him for years before he came out with that, and that was a good fucking play. Like, I didn't join it personally, but because I did all of my own studying and shit. So, but for anybody that's first learning this shit, definitely get on his university, Yusuf L, SPC University. Check that shit out. It's like a self-paced program there, so it's really good for fucking beginners, and it's guided by him and shit. And I mean, the dude is sharp as fuck too, so check him out. So if you do not have a computer, if you do not understand redemption or are unwilling to learn all that might be necessary in regards to the commercial scheme as the supposed principal sovereign in a collective capacity. and take the responsibility. It is strongly suggested that you do not go forward or continue with what is called a redemption until you know what the fuck you're doing. This isn't something that you just want to jump the fuck into, because you're going to be tested probably at every fucking angle by all these assholes, which are just doing their job too, mind you, right? So all these agents and shit, some of them are really brainwashed. They don't know that they're playing a game or whatever, but a lot of these motherfuckers do know that they're playing the game, and their job is to test you to make sure you know who the fuck you are so you can move forward. Because you can't have anybody that's half-ass or just doing it for a couple bucks or whatever the fuck. They need to make sure that you changed as a fucking person, spirit, soul, all that shit needs to change. So from this point forward, you must decide to take which pill to take. If you decide to take the blue pill and you wake up in bed and believe whatever you want, you go back to the plantation and remain the same. You continue to be the debtor slave on the plantation, owning nothing, having no rights, only privileges. If you take the red pill, you will be located and removed from the matrix. You'll be exposed to all the rabbit trails, the rabbit holes, and soon you'll be able to recognize the commercial program and to operate within it in a system where there is no money, just commercial paper. You will come to the understanding as you move forward. You will learn to go to peace and not to war. Before you is a lot of responsibility. As you take the red pill and go forward, there is no going back. You will never be the same. And it's true. It's fucking true. Everything fucking changes. The way that you look at things. You're going to be, recognizing agents, and fucking the paperwork's going to look fucked up now. You're going to be questioning shit, looking at people like, who the fuck sent you? Yo, the shit is fucking crazy, but it's fun. I'll give it that. It's definitely been a fucking strange ride, but it's fun. So it would be useful to start at the start for us to share with you the fundamental assumptions and motivations for writing this manual and the important results and benefits that we hope you will realize in your study of the redemption. The subject of redemption is complex and involves the disciplines of history, government, commercial law, statutory procedure, banking, finance, real estate, and diplomacy. And that's the thing, is that it's so multifaceted, is that, everybody wants to know, what book did you read? It's like, what the fuck? What book didn't I fucking read? What do you mean? Yo, so much shit. And you have to have the fucking capacity. So you have to be willing to want to change. And so it really comes down to this. What are you willing to do to be free? That's the question that you really got to ask yourself. And so, because it is harder to be free than it is to be a slave. I'll tell you that. So each of these subjects is highly technical and has its own specialized language. To cover all of them in a single manual at even a fundamental level would of course be impractical. Therefore, out of necessity, we have set our goal in updating the Redemption Manual 4 to present a high-level overview of core concepts that we hope will offer you a clear understanding of what the redemption is and how it might be useful to you. The war that is raging in the world is a war of influence that you think and ultimately how you act. Yeah, let me just change this song here. It's fucking. What do we got? Yeah, so the war that is raging in the world is a war to influence what you think and ultimately how you act. You control any group, no matter how large, if you can shape their opinions, perceptions, and belief systems in such a way to distract them from knowing or understanding the fundamental reality in which they are ensnared. A prison without bars. And so that's what it is. I mean, it's a prison for your mind. Because you can only literally go where you think you can, and you can only manifest what you've been programmed to manifest. So you literally have to start thinking outside of the box, outside of the prison that they kind of put your mind in. This is the ultimate form of leverage. Shaping the media is now a regular event, as well as suppression of the truth. Here's a summary of what happened. A group of men who wish to remain anonymous through their agents, employees of the United States and its subcorporations, began under the Lincoln administration to quietly hijack the Constitution and the three branches of the constitutional republic. A quasi-governmental corporate takeover was then engineered to take control of the 50 states, the banking system, and then coining the printing of money. A civil war, bankruptcy, the confiscation of the wealth of the nation were sponsored in order to create a context. And so, like, the shit that was funny about when HJR 192, June 5th, 1933, when they said that all persons had to turn their gold in and shit, They were just talking about the businesses. Nobody knew USC 26, what the definition of person was there in the United States Code. It means a corporation. So everybody that willingly went there and gave them their fucking gold and shit was pretty much an asshole, and they just they did it willingly because they're not a person. The all caps person is really a corporation. So they fooled everybody that way. So anyway, the icing on the cake in 1938, the rulings of the Supreme Court were then partitioned to prevent the invocation of any law based on common law to be replaced by the Uniform Commercial Code. And so this is why I ended up studying a lot of the Uniform Commercial Code. When I realized that all these governments were corporations, essentially, I realized that there was no law and that what they were operating under was a code under the color of law, and Uniform Commercial Code is what they're governed by, right? So this is where you're going to find your remedy. And courts of international contract law, admiralty, and most that you don't even realize that you have personally aided and abetted by your own ignorance and history of the law, signed and acted yourself into the system of commercial slavery. You do this every time you get a job, you get married, you give birth, register your car, take out a mortgage, use Federal Reserve notes, join the military, especially when you file taxes. Welcome to the same old world order. We have seen the enemy, and the enemy is unknowledgeable among us. If this is news, congratulations, you are a successful mind control subject. You know, if you didn't know any of this, just like I didn't before I started studying it, and we were fucking mind controlled and still are. Everybody's still mind controlled. You know, trauma-based mind control, MK Ultra, that's what they do all day. That's what they do on TV and all that shit. That's what it is. So if you think you are a landowner in America, take a close look at the warranty deed of fee title of your land. You will almost always find the word tenant, tenancy, or certificate, and so that's a big thing to look at too. I mean, if you want to go look at your mortgage paperwork, you're going to see that you are the tenant. Okay, you don't own it. So the title, and the only way to really own it is the common law patent on it, the land patent, which I have a book and a fucking video on how to do it too. So check it out. So the title of deed documents establishing your right as a tenant, not a landowner, and a certificate holder of the real title, which has been prepared for transfer by a licensed bar attorney. BAR stands for British Accreditation Registry. That's what all these fucking lawyers are part of. A private membership organization called the BAR, British Accreditation Registry. That's what BAR stands for. So just as it was carried out with the original English feudal system, you may have presumed yourself to have escaped from in 1776. If your goal is to recover what has been stolen from you, it will be necessary to redeem yourself from living a life of false perceptions. Redemption is the path of waging peace with your adversary. It is the path of turning the fraud that has been perpetuated against you to your advantage so that you can control the property and prevail in any venue involving agencies and employees of the federal government there. Right? So this shit is crucial information that I think everybody should fucking know. So that's why I'm reading it to you, so you can know it. So the theory of cognitive dissonance. So what you got to understand about cognitive dissonance is this, is that it's basically a firewall, which when you start to introduce concepts contrary to people's personal fucking beliefs, right? Anything. So whether it's God they believe in, you start telling them, oh, well, you know, a man wrote the Bible, whatever, boom. What that's doing is triggering something called cognitive dissonance, which basically releases a chemical in your brain that is the same as pain. So when they hear something contrary to their common fucking beliefs, it literally triggers something in your brain as pain. So you have to learn to get past that. And when you get past that, then you can know the truth. So dissonance, lack of agreement, consistency or harmony or discord. As computers go, the human brain is without parallel or parity. When compared to even the most sophisticated man-made computers, nevertheless, it is a computer, and like all computers, it can be programmed. It has to be programmed to function. Everything in this realm is programmed to function. There's a programmer, there's a program running behind everything. It's called fucking numbers, right? If you know what a blueprint is, it's all measured by numbers, right? Letters are just bent numbers, okay? So that's why numerology is fucking huge. You really want to get to all the answers, learn fucking numerology. That's where all your answers are. It's not a no man-made shit, because nobody can change the source code. They can try, but nobody can change it. So when you start calculating things, there is a source code there, and you will find the truth. How bad do you want to know it? So there's a theory known as the theory of cognitive dissonance, which holds that the mind involuntarily rejects information not in line with the previous thoughts and or actions. It's true. So may have been the first person to document the law of cognitive dissonance, but he was certainly not the first to observe it. Since the most ancient times, mind controllers have been enticing free people into servitude, piping them on board, so to speak, by taking advantage of man's tendency to generate cognitive dissonance. And so that's what it is. That's the trauma-based mind controls. Every time they're traumatizing you, you're creating a fractal personality, which can then be programmed into whatever the fuck that they want. That's why you have so many schizophrenic fucking weirdos out here thinking they know what the fuck that they're talking about. They're all trauma-based mind control victims. I mean, all of us were. So, in his book, A Theory of Cognitive Dissonance, Festinger says that the new events of the new information create an unpleasantness, a dissonance, existing knowledge, opinion, or cognition concerning behavior. When this happens, pressure naturally arises within the person to reduce the dissonance, not reconciling the new information with the old, but reducing the dissonance. So Festinger further stated that the strength of the pressures to reduce the dissonance is a function of the magnitude of dissonance. So dissonance acts in the same way as a state of drive, need, or tension. The greater the dissonance, the greater will be the intensity of the action or reduce the dissonance, and the greater the avoidance of situations that would increase the dissonance. So, you traumatize people, scare them, tell them that they need you to help them, and they're going to do whatever you say because they fucking believe that. Right? So a person can deal with the pressure generated by the dissonance by changing the old behavior to harmonize with new information. And this is when they're reprogramming the fractals that you create in order to kind of ease the pain that you can't see physically, but emotionally it's happening. You have the pain, you create the fractal, and they program that new fractal. Okay? So it could be because you're going to go with the path of least resistance, which is going to be to accept the suggestions that they're offering to you at that point in order to minimize the pain, right? So this is what's happening. So, but if the person is too committed to the old behavior of the way of thinking, he simply rejects the new information. A simple, I don't believe it. Yeah, well, you don't fucking have to believe it, bro. So the thought of the word is easy to cop out. For if you are unaware of being unaware. So knowing that your mind will automatically try to reject any new information is not out of the ordinary, because it does not fit with your current beliefs or understanding, or it is just simply foreign to the concepts that you understand. Knowing this, it is even more important to keep an open mind and allow the information that you learn to flow through and be open to concepts, even if you reject them initially. Doing so will allow you to continue to learn and grow as you make it through this series of with the most ease. And that's what it is. So you have to know that obviously you're going to be introduced to concepts that you're not fucking familiar with. That's the whole process of learning. And if you honestly believe that you fucking know everything that you need to know right now because public school taught you that shit, just fucking go to a different channel. Go watch watch the news. Go watch the news. Introduction. So if you are new to redemption, then the information process as presented in this book may be shocking and a little strange. We understand that it will be a leap of information that you have never been exposed to. Maybe you have experienced your government or were stomped on, railroaded in court, raped, pillaged, and plundered by an attorney, state agency, or even the IRS. Maybe you believe the constitutional due process and fairness still exists in law in the courtroom. Maybe you believe that everything is the way that it's supposed to be. They say jump, you ask, how high? You look around and aside from the negative TV news at 6 p.m., you don't see anything wrong. Maybe you've not recognized the glitches in the program yet. Well, better snap on your seatbelt, Dorothy, because things have changed, and where you're going, there is no turning back. This book is not construed as legal advice. It is the cumulative work and effort of countless hundreds and maybe thousands of people who came before us and who at present have worked the great expansive time and energy to find the truth and freedom, if such even fucking exists at this time in the country or even on this planet. So using the IRS as an example, we could all agree that based upon well over 25 years of research, all that research is now historical and cannot be rebutted. The fact of history are the facts of the history. You cannot go back and change history. But I mean, you can because time isn't real. So you can, but rather they altered the facts of history in the textbooks to hide certain things from their own fucking agenda, right? So you'll have to be the judge of that for yourself. We'll make an attempt to add commentary, explanation, and such information in this update to allow better understanding of the problems and the issues as it relates to redemption, and will be incumbent upon the reader and the redemption to continue his or her educational experience to fully understand the basics and fundamentals and the concepts of the redemption, to better deal with the problems and the commercial scheme implemented by the governments without your knowledge or your consent. Right? So they need you to fucking to consent or to fucking agree to their contracts in general. So they can't move forward with any action unless you fucking agree to it. And you're gonna start to see that. So now that you know that, watch some of the court actions that, you know, happen on TV and things like that, and you're gonna see these people fucking agreeing to the actions in one way, shape, or form. And that's what they need to even move forward. Even the devil can't just walk in your house. You have to fucking invite him in. All right. So, and that's how that works. So it is a game of chess. Stop playing checkers with these assholes. That's what I got for you for now. Until we meet again.